Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of our Top 10. So joining me for this episode, we have the one and only Jamie Powell.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, and good night.
I like that. I like.
Thank you. I'm here all night.
So this is another episode of our Top 10. Jamie's very, very kindly agreed to join me on this one. And as always, I'm going to leave a link to Jamie's channel down below in the description. So please do go over and check him out if you haven't done so already. A lot of funny stuff over on Jamie's channel. I really enjoy it. But yeah, Jamie's joining me tonight for this one, and Jamie has picked the actor to cover, Jim Carrey. So it's going to be a fun one, this one, because I think I speak for both of us when I say Jim Carrey was someone we massively grew up with. He was like prevalent, probably in both of our childhoods, to be honest. This for me, Jim Carrey was like, he was hot shit in the 90s. You know, every time a new movie came out with him in, I was dying to see it, even if I was too young. You know, I'd get it rented and watched by my parents or whatever when it became available in Blockbusters or whatever. But yeah, Jim Carrey for me, I think for him and Robin Williams, I think were like the two big ones for me in the 90s, comedic actors that I just absolutely loved. But yeah, I think it was probably the same for you as well.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw Jim Carrey was he was doing stand-up on some UK talk show or something, and he was doing this trick where he put his arm behind his neck like that, and his other hand was out this, and was like, "Isn't it unusually windy out today?" And it just cracked me up. And then I saw him in like a few bits and pieces on TV and like a couple of films that he did that before he did the mainstream stuff. And then Ace Ventura came along, and that was it. Boom, he became a star overnight pretty much. And from Ace Ventura onwards, I saw every single film of his in the cinema without fail. It was he just took off in the 90s, and I became obsessed with his films. Every time a film of his was coming out, I had to be there for the first show and for the first day. If I was at school or college or work or whatever, but I would make sure I'd go and see it on the first day. It was just my hero growing up. So yeah, I think he just came around at the right time, and he had 3 hits consecutively in the same year that just he got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then he just became one of the highest grossing stars in Hollywood.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I think 94 was his year. I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, I always call it the Jim Carrey trilogy of 1994.
I've always seen it like a trilogy, even though they're not remotely related. It's just it was just boom, boom, boom. It's just what introduced us all to him, really.
To him, yeah, definitely, yeah. Well, we're going to talk about his movies. We're going to go with a few honorable mentions, and then we're going to get into our top 10 favorite Jim Carrey films. But yeah, Jamie, do you want to get into your honorable mentions?
Well, it's funny because I'm going to mention 4. But there's so many I could mention because there's so many good films. It's really difficult narrowing it down to 10. And that sounds mad to say that, but there's not many actors you can actually, for me anyway, could do that. But the honorable mentions that I've got, and some of these might shock people that are not in the top 10, but it's just personal preference. Me, Myself, and Irene. It's such a funny film. It's not a film that would get made now. No. Some of the stuff in that is bonkers. It was just so mad. It was fantastic. I love some of the humor in it. When he first flips out in the supermarket scene, it's just unbelievably funny. So I can't go into it, but anyway, there's that one. Ace Ventura: Nature Calls. It has one of the funniest scenes with Jim Carrey for me is when he goes to the constellation, when he goes to the meets Simon Callow at the club, and he's like just punches the guy. It looks like the Monopoly Man, and he does the Lone Ranger thing and the shadows, and that whole sequence is just perfect Jim Carrey. But the film itself, I didn't think it was good as the first one. Also, I Love You, Philip Morris with Ewan McGregor, a really good film. Not a film that I would find pleasure in watching in some scenes, but But the film itself, its story, its acting, its pacing, and it's a true story as well. So can get around certain things in it that might not be the most comfortable thing to watch. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just uncomfortable in a sense that it's not something that you're used to watching, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it's a fantastic film. Has some really good moments in that one. And the other one is The Grinch, which is a Christmas classic. But again, I've always loved The Grinch. I think it's a great Christmas film. But there's just 10 other films that I prefer of his compared to these ones. So they're my honourable 4 anyway. So
yeah,
I mean, I could go on all day. But yeah, they're the 4 that jump to mind anyway.
Yeah, definitely great ones. There, 1 or 2 of them may have got on my list, but yeah, we'll get to them when we get to them, of course. But yeah, I think for me, honourable mentions, I'll go with the Majestic. Enjoy that one for what it is.
Yeah, fantastic.
The 3 Sonic movies, I think they're fun.
Yeah, good fun.
They're good fun. Yeah, Bruce Almighty, for me, that was kind of like one of his last great comedies spilling into the 2000s, I think.
Yeah.
For me. And I'll go with, probably get a lot of stick for this, but it's not a movie I can really get into, but I know that the movie does have its fans. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's one I need to give a rewatch to make my mind up about that movie, because when I first watched it, I couldn't really get into it. But I know Jim Carrey's always giving a good performance in his movies, whether he's doing comedic or serious. He's always given 110% for me, whenever I'm watching. He's always, you can see how committed he is to the role whenever he's in a movie. But yeah, I need to rewatch that one just to make my mind up about it. But yeah, they're sort of my honorable mentions anyway.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But yeah. Do you want to kick it off with your number 10, Jamie?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, why not? Right. Let's get on with it. Right then. Well, number 10 is Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Okay.
There's a few reasons why I love this one particularly. First of all, I read the books when I was younger. Not too much younger when the film came out, but a couple of years prior. And I think I read the first 4 or 5. And then, I just got fed up with it. But this film was so good for me because it was like the way it's shot is like a Tim Burton film, and I love Tim Burton's films. So and his sort of style and look, so it's got that sort of like look about it. Plus, Jim's playing a villain, and he's always good at playing villains. Like Batman. Batman's not on this list either. He was great as the Riddler, but as Count Olaf or Olaf, I think it's Olaf. Is it Olaf?
Yeah, I think it's Olaf. Yeah.
He was fantastic. There's a great outtake of him on the set, just pretending to be a dinosaur and trying to make all the cast laugh and everything. But the film is really good. I like how it's like a bit episodic, but it's just so balmy and so strange and so different. And I also went to the premiere of that in London. I actually got to meet Jim Carrey very briefly, which was like, for me, I didn't want to wash my shoulder after he tapped me on the shoulder. So he just came running up to me and said, "Do not go and see this movie." But yeah, it's just what he did. But and then but yeah, the film itself is just so different and so darkly comical, and I just love the look of it and the feel of it. And it's very well directed, cinematography, all the supporting cast like Billy Connolly and Streep, they're all great. And Meryl Streep is actually more over the top than Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
but it's him as the sailor. It's just he's only got one leg. Oh, it just cracks me up. It just cracks me up the way he talks. I can found and dip it too. And it's just stupid but funny. But yeah, Lemony Snicket's Series of Fortunate Events is just for me. It's a shame they didn't continue it. They did do the Netflix show, which started off well and just didn't do so well after they'd done the main 3. But yeah, I thought it was great fun. Great fun.
Yeah, it didn't make my list, but I grew up reading the books. I loved the series of Unfortunate Events, and I think they sort of crammed the first 3 books into the movie. What they were going for. Obviously, Count Olaf, he's an actor, but he's evil because there's these three orphans, but because they're only kids, they've got a fortune to their name which they can't access till they're about 18. But he's trying every which way he can, all these disguises, to try and get his hands on this fortune, and it's a lot of fun. As the books go on, they do get quite bleak as they go on, but for a film adaptation, I thought it was really good. It had a good style to it. It definitely has that Tim Burton vibe when you watch it. You know, if you didn't know who directed it, you probably would guess, "Oh, is this a Tim Burton film?" By how it looks. But it's a fun movie for what it is. It's flawed, but yeah, I do agree with you. It's enjoyable and it's entertaining, and you can see Jim Carrey's having a lot of fun playing all these different characters in it. But that's a great number 10, Jamie.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's great. So, my number 10. This was a bit of a sort of a correction course, I think, for his career, because he did a movie before this and nobody liked it. And then this one sort of brought it was his brand of humor again in this movie, and it is Liar Liar.
Oh, yes.
Number 10. This is just Jim Carrey being his elastic, energetic, full self, going full force as this lawyer he's a bit of a deadbeat dad. He doesn't spend time with his son, and his son makes this wish on his birthday that his dad can't tell a lie. And as soon as it hits 12 o'clock, he just speaks the truth. Yeah. And he can't understand what's going on, what's happening. He just has some of the most harshest, quick comments that he just delivers to people, and it's hysterical. It just showcases his talents, this movie. You know, it's not a great movie, it's not a perfect movie, but it's a great Jim Carrey vehicle. And it's just, if you love Jim Carrey, you will love this movie. And yeah, he's this lawyer. There comes a point in the movie where it's whether or not he wants to win or do the right thing. But him winning isn't the right thing. And it just has a little bit of heart to it towards the end of the movie as well, with the relationship with his son. You got that famous scene at the airport as well, which is hysterical when he's just landing all the luggage. But yeah, it's his movie, it's his vehicle, and yeah, it's my number 10, Liar Liar.
Great choice, fantastic. That might feature in my top 10. You never know.
Okay, great. So yeah, that was my number 10, Liar Liar. Yours, Series of Unfortunate Events. Your number 9.
This is one you've already mentioned in your honourable mentions that you didn't quite like, or not too sure on. It's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay, yeah.
It's the most artsy-fartsy film I think he's ever done, and I mean that respectfully because it is artsy-fartsy. It's a bit of a brain fuck, and but it's one of those that has grown on me. I remember I always took my dad to see Jim Carrey films. It was always my thing, and me and my dad would go and see it. I always get him to come along because he knew how much I love Jim Carrey, and he loved a lot of his films as well. But I didn't come to cinema to see this one. I thought I better test the waters on this one because it did look a bit odd, and it is extremely odd and very different. And my dad switched it off after 10 minutes and no, that's crap. What a load of rubbish. I'm not watching that. And I completely got it because it is. You watch it and you're like, what the hell is going on? And then most of the film is all backwards in a way. It sort of plays out backwards with its structure of the story, of the love story that's involved. So it goes from like his last memory to his first memory of meeting her. And so he gets lost in his own mind as it's basically about a guy who's in a relationship with this girl, Kate Winslet. The relationship's very rocky and it's coming towards its end, if not ended. And he's in so much pain and he wants to get rid of it. He wants to erase this memory from his head. So he finds out there's this place where they can erase your memories, and he decides to have this done so then he doesn't have to feel the pain that he's going through. But in order to do that, they've got to put, have him out like a sedation, so he's out of it, so they can go into his brain and just go through his memories. But he ends up getting lost in this. He sort of plays out what's going on in his head. Excuse me. So as the film progresses, you're seeing them argue more, but then it becomes less and less and less. And you can see him falling in love again and why they fell in love. And he ends up getting towards the end of the memories where he doesn't want to lose it. He wants to have more back because he still loves her, and so it's a journey for him to try and get out of the situation. It is extremely complicated to watch in some light, and it is mad to watch because stuff is going on with imagery. It's all shaky. It's all flashbacks. But the performances are absolutely superb. It's probably one of the most laid back, if you will, even though there's a lot there. He's not the goofball Jim Carrey. He's really serious, and it shows his talent as an actor, not just as a comedic actor. And all the other casts are great. You got Mark Ruffalo, Tom Wilkinson, Elijah Wood, Kate Winslet. I said the cast is fantastic. So I think Philip Seymour Hoffman's in there as well. It's just fantastic. But it is a film which is Marmite. You're either going to love it or absolutely hate it. And I remember thinking it was fine, but the more I've watched it, the more I appreciate it, and the more I love it. But it is not for everybody, that's for sure. But Eternal Sunshine, Spotless Mind is fantastic, different from Jim Carrey, and it's nice to see him do different things. He did do one, it's called True Crime or something like that, and it was awful. I can't bring myself to watch it ever again. But it was like he was playing a detective, and it was or was it Dark Crimes? I think it might have been Dark Crimes, and it was just boring as hell. Nothing was happening. But anyway, that's my number 9, Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that camp where I appreciate it, but it just didn't speak to me. I didn't get out of it what I wanted to get out of it. But I do really do want to give it a rewatch, because no one goes into a movie wanting to hate a movie ever. No one wants that, but it just didn't. Maybe I was just too young or couldn't relate to what was going on in it. I don't know. Maybe just you can watch a great movie at the wrong time, and I think that's what happened with me with that film. And I need to give it a rewatch, and hopefully I can get something more from it.
It does have one bit of Jim Carrey in it, if you know what I mean, like the Jim Carreyism, and it's where he's. It's always made me laugh. He goes into the library, and because all this things is done by memory, he can only see what his memory shows him. And so somebody in the background at the desk, and he wants to see who it is, but because he didn't see him when he was walking past, he doesn't know what he looks like. So he goes to turn him around. And he's in a library. He goes to turn him around, and every time he turns it around, it's just a black screen. He can't see nothing. He just turns around, and he turns around and goes, "Where's the self-help section?" And he runs off to get a self-help book. but yeah. Sorry to interrupt. But yeah.
No. That's a great. Great number 9, Jamie. Yeah,
Thank
definitely. It's one I do want to give a rewatch to, but yeah, fantastic film. So number 9 for me, this was one from the late 2000s, but it feels more like a 90s Jim Carrey comedy for me. So my number 9 is Yes Man.
No. yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah. So this is pretty much following Jim Carrey, who is very much kind of isolating himself from his friends and his family and things like that. And every time an opportunity comes his way, the answer's always no to how he's feeling, and more so his job is getting to him, his friends. So he ends up going to this sort of big conference in sort of like a Comic-Con hall thing with Terrence Stamp, and it's more so of a thing where you've got to sort of start to say yes to life and opportunities coming your way. So he joins this program where he has to say yes for everything, and his life completely changes from there, all the better. His friends start to like him more. He starts to get a promotion at his work. He meets a girlfriend played by Zoe Deschanel. Stunning Zoe Deschanel, in my opinion, anyway.
In this one.
But just a wonderful, fun film. But cracks start to show a little bit down the line as you go on, but that's to be expected in these films, with the storyline and things like that. But yeah, it's just a fun movie, real feel-good film, and just really, really enjoy this one. A lot of fun scenes in it, some fun music, And great supporting cast as well. Bradley Cooper's in here as well,
That's right.
as his friend. Yeah,
I like this boss in that. There's a bit where he puts sellotape around his face like that.
yeah,
Jim Carrey's putting his sellotape around, and he says, absolutely, it's just silly, and it's his boss's reaction. It's just as funny. It's like, what's wrong with this guy? And that guy is quite famous. He was in, I think so. It was like What We Do in the Shadows and all that sort of thing. So, but yeah, it's a really good little film. Really, like I said, good film. Yeah, I completely agree with your choice on that. Well, all your choices so far. Like I said, there's not many Jim Carrey films I don't like. So,
yeah.
But yeah, great choice.
It's just a fun, easy watch film with some great music and it's some great humor that's to be expected from a Jim Carrey film. And very likable film for me anyway. So that's my number 9. Yes, man.
Very good.
Yeah. So your number 8, Jamie.
My number 8. It's my surprise that people was quite low on the top 10, but Dumb and Dumber.
Wow.
I know. This film is the first time I ever saw this, it was my 12th birthday. I was going to the cinema for my birthday. I was out on my birthday. And I took my friend who was 11, but my dad snuck him in. And me and my friend Sean, we went to go and see this. And I knew it was going to be silly from the trailer, but I hadn't seen too much. Back in those days, you didn't see trailers as much as not as available as it is now with the internet. Back then, you only saw either clips on TV or at the cinema itself when you saw a film. So I'd seen a trailer and it looked funny from what I remembered, but it being Jim Carrey, after seeing Ace Ventura and The Mask, I was like, I've got to see this. And I nearly wet myself. It was so funny. It's very stupid. It's very dumb. It's dumb and dumb, but it's very, but it's funny with it. And it's one of those films that you have to go with it. And if you go with it, you're going to have the best time because it's one of the most zaniest films he's done, but as in like it's comedy and it's madness. I mean, it's just so many. I remember watching it. My dad didn't go see it at the cinema. I have a lot of memories watching Jim Carrey with my dad. And when we rented it on video, because back then you had to rent it, then buy it 6 months later. We rented it, and it's the bit in the car which he ad-libbed, which is what's the most annoying sound in the world. And he goes, eh. And that. I think my dad nearly fell off the sofa laughing. I thought he was going to piss his pants because it was so funny. Yeah. That whole scene when he picks him up, it's just perfection. It's basically about two guys who go on they want to return a briefcase to a girl he wants to get with, basically, and but they get mistaken for a drop off money sort of thing. So they send these two guys to go and get the money back and so forth. Anyway, it's just a silly film, but it's just full of the most continuous amount of gags in a film. It's like Airplane. It's got a gag every minute. And sure, I mean, the most annoying thing is that they've never released the theatrical cut on Blu-ray. It's only the unrated cut. And I don't like some of the unrated cut gags. It went too far, or it just made the film feel different in a way in some parts. But there's been so many versions of it. There's some scenes where they cut out, where they pick up the hitchhikers after that scene. There's some versions of it they've cut that out. There's some versions that the little old granny seeing at the beginning when he goes to the store to get the well, you've mentioned it in one of the streams where he goes to get all the best essentials. He comes out of this box of crap. Yeah. There's a bit where the old lady says, "Will you just look after the stuff? I'll go and get change or whatever." And she nicks all the stuff. And there's a scene where he comes out and goes, little old lady, and that's not on any DVD or Blu-ray that I've got. So, but I don't want the unrated on Blu-ray. I must try and find a way to get the normal version on Blu-ray because I haven't got the Blu-ray of it because it's the unrated version. If they had that as an exact, they had both cuts, that'd be fine. But yeah, Dumb and Dumber, just absolutely bonkers, funny, and yeah, it does deserve to be high, but it's just other films that I can watch more now. Okay, yeah. That I've seen it to death. It came out like 20 years ago, even not longer maybe, but there are other films I can watch over that now because I know all the gags off by heart. But yeah, I mean, Harry on the toilet.
Yeah,
And of course, in one cut, he picks up the toilet and lobs it out the window.
that was another scene that was cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought when I saw that version, wouldn't it have been funny if all that shit he was pouring outside the toilet out the window went onto Jim Carrey's onto Lloyd. I thought that'd be quite a funny add-on, but
yeah, I mean, it's a bit higher on my list, but yes,
it will be on most people's.
Yeah, it will. But I completely agree with you about you just wish we did just get a definitive cut of the movie or just something like that where we could watch one full version of it or two different versions of it, because throughout the years, every time I watched it, I think I've just watched a different cut of the film all the time, because I remember the first time I watched it, it had that scene in it where he asks the old woman to watch his stuff, and he comes back and everything's gone. And he's shouting, "Little old lady." I've never ever seen that in another version other than when I watched it on TV for the first time. And I remember I found the clip of it on YouTube, but apparently that scene, it was only ever in TV broadcast versions of it, which is an absolute pain because it explains why it's never been on the DVD, it's never been on the Blu-ray. It's not even in the deleted scenes.
No, it's
it's absolute pain how they've just cut the movie and released different versions of it. But I completely agree with you about some of the scenes in the uncut version going a bit too far with a lot with the Seabass character.
Yes, and I didn't like seeing the actual gob go into the burger. I thought that was revolting, and like the scene in the bathroom goes a bit too far.
He takes his pants down and he's wearing like this leopard skin thong, and you don't see that in the other cut. But no. It does go a bit too far in some parts with that character. But yeah, I'll talk a bit more about it when I get to it on my. But yeah, great number 8, Jamie. I love that film.
It's difficult not to love it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you said. It's you know, the gags are coming fast and furious in that movie. But yeah, it's a great one. My number 8 possibly might be the worst movie on this list, but I love this film. I grew up with this movie. I saw it at the cinema when I was about 4 or 5. I just adore it. Batman Forever.
Release the Schumacher cut.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, this is Jim Carrey is the Riddler in this movie. Essentially, he's playing his own version of it, but he's definitely channeling Frank Gorshin from the 60s show. I think. Yeah, all of that stuff. Is Edward Nygma in the movie though is really great. He plays someone who works for the Wayne Corporation, and he comes up with this mind manipulation device. And his boss, played by Ed Begley Jr., is just constantly telling him, I ordered termination on this project this morning. But he becomes obsessed with Bruce Wayne in this movie to the point where he wants to be him. He dresses like him at times.
Yeah.
It's quite creepy when you think about it. And I think that's what attracted Jim Carrey to the role, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
You can see he likes the psychological type of roles, Jim Carrey. But yeah, and then when he becomes the Riddler, that's when all the flamboyant stuff comes out. Like the orange hair, the green jumpsuit. That's where I think Warner Brothers were like, we're going to capitalize on Jim Carrey right now because he's the hot shit at the moment, and we're going to cast him as the villain in the new Batman film, and he just goes with it. He's probably probably one of the best things about the movie, but he's so entertaining to watch in this film. I think he never lets up. He's never dull. He's never boring.
He kind of saves the film in a way. The film itself is fine. The problem is that the previous 2 Batman movies were very dark in comparison, and this brought back a lot more of the old, the Adam West TV show sort of feel about it. Even at one point, Robin says, "Holy metal, Batman," or something.
Yeah,
it's all holy, and it's obviously just having a bit of fun at the original TV series. But Jim Carrey as Riddler, I remember going to see this at the cinema with my mum and dad, and they didn't like the previous two Batman movies, and they didn't mind this one. But it's the reason why they stuck around was because of Jim Carrey. His Riddler it's just batshit crazy. He's having a well of a time. But yeah, it's a great choice. I mean, Batman Forever. I've always liked it. I mean, was Alicia Silverstone in this one or the next one?
That's the next
one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. I mean, great choice. Nicole Kidman. I think that was like one of my first screen crushes. She was hot in that. Yeah, I would love to see the Schumacher cut where they add a lot more stuff to it with Batman, and I think there's a lot more Riddler. There's a lot of stuff in the trailer that got cut. That's probably the Schumacher cut. So, yeah, great choice, and not one to be sniffed at because I like that film as well. I remember seeing it at cinema. I remember I was really ill in bed off school, and Mum got me the video of it as a get well present. So I put that on, and I remember just sitting there, not being able to breathe, watching Jim Carrey laughing and coughing and laughing at the same time. Yeah, it's a really good, it's a good little film, very underrated. It's not the best Batman, but it's not the worst, and it's a good, entertaining watch. Sorry, I'm taking your limelight.
No, that's a good way of putting it. It's a good way of putting it. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but it's entertaining. You watch this and you're never bored. You're never bored watching it. It's just.
I even like Batman and Robin.
I do. For its problems.
I don't feel too bad now.
I do. I can easily watch the first two and stop, but I can easily watch all four of them as well. The Burton Schumacher Batman films and just get enjoyment from them. They're easy watches for me. I've got the nostalgia as well for them, even though they're not perfect. But great soundtrack as well. Batman Forever. The music in it is phenomenal. The score and the soundtrack music they put in, it's just great. But yeah, that's my number 8.
Right.
So your number 7, Jamie.
My number 7 is Man on the Moon, and it's a biopic of Andy Kaufman, who was a actor and comedian well, not really a comedian. He didn't see himself as a comedian, but as an entertainment man, or as such, like a show and dance man. But he was quite comedic in the show of Taxi, which is what he's most famous for. But he was also known for like doing lots of pranks and faking things, like Beatles About ×10 sort of thing, where he would prank people, and it'd be quite some serious stuff as well. Like he supposedly died of cancer, but everybody, because he was such a joker, they thought it was a joke. It was part of his act, and nobody will ever know. I don't think they'll ever come out whatever happened to him. But Jim Carrey is a serious role in a sense, playing a comedian, and he was just magnificent in this film. This film did not get enough recognition. His performance was phenomenal. I know that there was controversial about him behind the scenes. There was a documentary on Netflix about it, Andy and Jim, where he was like Andy off screen as well as on screen. So he was like method acting sort of thing. And he wound up all the cast and everything. But that was what Andy Kaufman was like. So I guess he was just staying in character sort of thing. But the film itself is so well done. I think it was Milos Forman who done it. And he got to star alongside Danny DeVito, who was also on the original Taxi lineup. I actually, because I was obsessed with Jim Carrey, like I said, I actually found a script of the film in a London bookshop somewhere before the film had come out. I've still got it somewhere. And it was just the actual script of the film. It was just done like you get from the studio. It wasn't like pictures and stuff. So I had read the script, and then I went to a car boot sale, and because it didn't come over to the UK for ages, somebody had on a car boot sale a knockoff version of it on video. And he only wanted £1. And I thought, I'll have that. Thank you very much. Went back so I watched it, and it wasn't the greatest quality, admittedly, but it was watchable. But the film is so different, and as in like the acting and the story, it's like a really good serious film in a sense. And he was a very interesting man, bit of an arsehole, I would say, but that was part of his persona that he used to play. I remember I watched it with my brother, and he says, I'm just playing the arsehole. And my brother said, that means you are an arsehole. I said, I guess he is, but but I don't know. I think he was misunderstood, and I think that his comedy would go down far much more now than it would do back then. I think people would be more open to that now, because it wasn't offensive. Well, maybe the theme of wrestling that might have been a thing now, but
yeah.
But no, yeah, I think it's a really interesting film, and Jim Carrey should have been at least nominated for an Oscar. You know, he wasn't Jim Carrey. There's not one part of that film, even when he's doing the comedic parts, it wasn't his comedy. It was Andy's comedy. It's his humor. So it didn't feel like you were watching a Jim Carrey doing a performance in Jim Carrey's style. It was more like Jim Carrey acting as another comedian sort of thing, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's one of those films I can rewatch and never get fed up with. The soundtrack by REM is fantastic. Obviously, they did the song "Man on the Moon," which was about Andy Kaufman. So it was kind of fitting that they brought them into it. And it's just, the score is wonderful. It's just a great film. And there's, again, lots of stuff that was not used in the film is out there, and would love to see like an uncut version, but I don't think we'll ever see it. But yeah, it's got a Blu-ray release in France, and it came out in America. I think it was I forget the name of the studio that brought it out, but I've got it on Blu-ray somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was Kino Lorber.
That's it. Yeah, KM.
Yeah, no, Jamie, it's a little bit higher on mine, but I agree with everything you said about it. Sure. That's an interesting story when I get to it about how I discovered that film. But yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. It's one of his best acting performances, I think. Anyway, what a great number 7. My number 7. This one might be quite higher on a lot of other people's lists as well. My number 7 is The Truman Show. Yeah, this was kind of the first taste of him doing real, proper, serious acting, I think. This one is a fantastic film with a great premise. And I think the way that this movie's made makes it for me, because I think in the hands of a less capable director, this could have been a train wreck. Given what this movie's about and how it comes together, how the movie's stitched together. For me, so it just follows Jim Carrey, who is an everyday sort of person in this movie, and it follows him in his day-to-day life. There's nothing too exciting about him. He just does his thing, gets on with his life. But what he doesn't know is his whole life is a television program to the real world. He was born. He was an orphan when he was a baby, and the television studio bought him and decided to base a television show around his upbringing and his entire life. And it's sort of about the cracks to this certain stage in his life, the cracks of this television show where it's blending the lines of his world with the real world. That's pretty much what the whole movie's about as it goes on. And yeah, everyone in his life is an actor. He thinks it's like a real, he has real friends, a real wife, but everyone around him is an actor in this movie. And yeah, it's just a fantastic premise to a film. And it's not the funny Jim Carrey that we knew from the 90s. It's more of a serious Jim Carrey, but still a very likable character in the film. And yeah, just one of his more profound movies, I think.
Well, I might be talking about that one soon, so I'll tell you my thoughts when I get if
it's on your list.
It's on the list. But I could talk to you for a lifetime about that film. So yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, it's my number 7, but I'm probably just summing how I feel about the movie in a couple of sentences. But this is a great film. It's a great film. That's my number 7, the Truman Show.
Great choice.
So your number 6, Jamie?
Alrighty then. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, the first one.
Yeah.
It's what kicked Jim Carrey off into stardom. I said that earlier, but it's it's what started him off, really. I mean, I'd seen him in previous stuff before. Like he was in a film called Once Bitten, which is about a vampire. He slowly turns into a vampire. There's one where he did a film called Doing Time on Maple Drive, where it was a TV movie, and basically it was about his family, and he was like a melodrama thing, and he was wonderful in that. But this Ace Ventura was when he broke it big time, and I was 11 when it came out, I think it was, or it might have been 12. I think it might have been 11. Ace Ventura's first, then The Mask, and then Dumb and Dumber. It was all like the same sort of year. So Ace Ventura for me came out, and I was too young to see it, but I was old enough to go see The Mask, and I was old enough to go see Dumb and Dumber. So this was a video watch, and we're in Tesco in Winton with my mum and dad, and I said, I want Ace Ventura to watch. And my dad was like, yeah, I want to watch that. That looks funny. And I didn't really know much about him, as in this sort of comedy. And I remember mum and dad, they went out and they came back with Ninja Turtles 3. I said, I want an Ace Ventura. So anyway, the next week, mum and dad went and got it. And dad sort of said, oh, I'll get it. So dad went and got it. And I remember watching it. I was thinking, my God, this is brilliant. I mean, at the beginning, my mum was like, why is he beating the hell out of that parcel? I said, well, it must be like a Royal Mail delivery, because that's exactly our parcel for us. That's exactly how it arrives when we get it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But it's so silly and so funny and so stupid. But it was his facial expressions. It was the way he said things. It was his body language. It was some of the gags. The story is as thin as Granny's underwear, but it was funny, and it was well paced, and there was a gag every couple of minutes, and it has some of my favorite lines that I say in real life now. I mean, one of the funniest bits for me is when he opens the door,
Yeah.
and it's, I have exercised. I could quote it all day. Again, there's stuff in it which you wouldn't get away with now, especially with one of the reveals towards the end.
Yeah.
But we won't go into that. But for a film of its time, it was funny. It was, and he was a breath of fresh air. Nobody was doing comedy like him, in my opinion. You had Robin Williams, who was zany, but Jim Carrey was his own type of zany. He was very different to Robin Williams. They were friends in real life, apparently. Imagine a film of them two together.
Oh,
God,
what could have been?
Oh,
yeah.
Could you imagine? I mean, get them three and him and those two and one more. You need one more. You'd have to have not Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's fine, but he's more funny.
Maybe someone like, I don't know, maybe like Chris Farley or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Jack Black.
Yeah.
He wasn't found then though, but not so much. But possibilities. I mean, Jim's still going, but he's not really doing stuff now. He's just doing the Sonic movies. But yeah, Ace Ventura, great fun. It's harmless. It's mostly, and
yeah,
it was the stuff in that which was a bit questionable for 12. I think for a kid to watch, especially when he returns a pet at the beginning to the
yeah.
And I was like, what's he doing? Oh right, okay.
That went over my head the first time I saw it.
Yeah, it did me. It did me. And I asked my friend who saw it with me, and he was like, he's getting a blowy. Oh, right. Yeah, but yeah, great. I love Ace Ventura. The second one is good, but I've always preferred the first one personally.
Yeah, no. I'll touch on those films a little bit later on. But yes, I can't argue with that at all. Really, really good pick, Jamie. So that was your number 6, Pet Detective.
Yes, number 6.
Yeah. My number 6, I think this was your number 7. It is Man on the Moon.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I agree and echo everything you said about this movie before. I think he definitely should have had more recognition from an acting standpoint with this movie. It kind of felt like one that came and went. The first time I sort of found out about this movie was I knew there was a new Jim Carrey film coming out because this one came out in the late 90s. And I think in the early 2000s, I was actually on holiday somewhere in Europe. And I was at this bar with my parents, and there was a big screen, and it was playing the movie, but there was no sound. it was just the movie, and I was hooked. Just even looking at the screen, I was just mesmerized. And I said to Mum and Dad, when we get back, can we rent that film? Because it'd be nice to watch it with sound. And yeah, that's what we did. We got back, we went to Blockbusters, rented it, and I just fell in love with the movie. I really, really did enjoy it. It's definitely one of his more strongest performances, I think. Definitely, this is Jim Carrey, serious acting first and comedic acting second. I think this one is. Like you said, he's playing Andy Kaufman, who was a real life comedian. A lot of people they got in this movie were the real people as well. Kaufman was working with
the whole cast of Taxi.
The whole Taxi cast. The real George Shapiro, who was the character Danny DeVito was playing, shows up in this movie as well at the start. And yeah, it just really worked for me. But it was whether or not he worked for you as a comedian when you watch what his gags were, what everything that he was about as a comedian, because he was always doing a joke, but then there'd be another joke behind that one as a twist to catch the next person off guard. Like there was a scene in this with a character. There's a big rivalry between the two of them in this movie. As the movie goes on, they absolutely despise each other, but behind the scenes, they were like the best of friends.
Yeah,
they were just playing a joke on everyone, and that's a big twist that happens in the movie as well. Because first time I watched it, I didn't see that coming, but they had like a very, very public, heated rivalry as well. Like there was a scene where they were on David Letterman and they were assaulting each other and hitting each other.
Yeah.
But it was all a joke on people. Everything with him was almost, he was trying to pull as big of a joke he could on everyone. There's a scene in the movie where he's doing a TV special and he wants some fuzziness to come up on the screen.
That's right.
He wants people at home to get it up and bang the television. He's like, no, that's part of the broadcast. It's part of the joke. Andy wants it in the show as a joke, so people get up. And people just all the TV executives and other actors were like, what's this guy about? He's they thought he was crazy to a point where he was just annoying them. And even that character he played, Tony Clifton, was getting on people's nerves. He was a very Marmite character.
He went to the funeral.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just mad the way this guy's mind worked and how he was always 2 steps ahead, I think, with a joke. And really, really fooling a lot of people. And like you said, the movie obviously tells you, he did get cancer and did supposedly pass away from it. But there's a scene where he's telling his wife and his friends he's got cancer. A lot of them think it's a joke.
Yeah.
They think he's not being serious, and he's like, no, I really
Peter
do.
and the Wolf, isn't it? You tell some jokes, people never believe you.
Yeah. It's like the scene where his friend says, oh yeah, this is great. You can die. We can bring you back to life. We can do. And he's like, yeah, that's all fun, but I really do have cancer. And then it hits them hard then after that. But
yeah, it's me. It also opened up my world to Paul Giamatti. So I've seen him in little bits here and there, but it's like his first sort of like almost. He plays his best friend, doesn't it? Like manager type thing. And I thought Paul was amazing in it as well.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And it was a great scene at the end where he's dead, he's died, he's at the funeral, and then Tony Clifton's doing like a gig.
Yeah.
And then you think it's going to be Paul Giamatti, but it's not, because it pans away. You see him in the audience. So it just gives that mystery, and that's a perfect way to end the man who was a bit of a mystery himself. It's just like leaves you thinking, and that's a great way. I'm spoilers for people who haven't seen it, but it's kind of obvious. As a film's like 20 years old, so I think I'll get away with it.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic little film. Honestly, that's a really good pick. Really good pick.
Yeah, it's one of his best, I think. But the man was just a mystery, I think, to even the people who were closest to him. Even his wife really. There's times in the movie where she gets annoyed at him because she doesn't know what his full intentions are. The whole female wrestling thing is as well in the movie, because there's a scene in it where he picks her out the audience, and they already know each other. And he's like, I'll if there's a woman here who can beat me here tonight, I'll shut my mouth and go about my business. And then there's the wrestler who was his friend behind the scenes comes out and goes, this is nothing more than his girlfriend. He's like, I'll fight you in the ring for real. And she got really annoyed about that. It's really like
she wasn't in on it, yeah.
Yeah, because she wasn't in on it, and she was like, is this all an act? What you're doing? And he's just going with what comes natural to him. But
I just loved how he wound up all the women in the audience by saying, "Oh, women, all they're here for is to go do the ironing, the cleaning, and the cooking." I thought, "Oh my god, mate, you're asking for it."
Yeah. I mean, he set out to do what he wanted to do, and that was to piss off every woman watching, I think, and he did do it. But yeah, but even behind the scenes, he had the he did all that meditation stuff as well, which meant to him. But even those people turned on him. I think towards the end they were like, we don't really understand, what you're all about, really.
Nah, yeah.
But it's a very, very good deep dive of a movie, I think. I just really, really enjoy it. So that's my number 6, Man on the Moon. Agree with what you said about the soundtrack as well. The REM music just adds to it.
I wish they'd come back. I used to love REM.
Yeah. So I think we're about halfway through now, Jamie. So you're number 5.
Right. This is maybe a little controversial. So I live on a main road. It gets a bit noisy.
Okay.
Number 5 is a film which nobody liked. Nobody liked when it came out. I think you know where this is going. It was tonefully different. Saying that, Jack Black's in it. So it's Cable Guy. The Cable Guy is a film which nobody liked because it wasn't Jim Carrey being typical Jim Carrey. It was, in a sense, but it was a darker side to Jim Carrey's sort of humor. It was more like a thriller in a way, psychological thriller about a guy who he's a cable guy, goes around and he meets Matthew Broderick's character, and he gives him free cable. And so, but he just wants to be his friend, and he sort of becomes like this psychotic, like, so he's obsessed with him. He becomes like he wants to be his best mates. They want to do everything together. So, and Matthew sort of goes along with it, but he starts showing off he's a bit weird, and Matthew's unsure. His character's unsure about this guy, and starts getting involved too much. And the film is directed by Ben Stiller, and it's a very dark, it's a dark sort of comedy drama. But I think the reason why it's not typical, why it wasn't so well, because it was the first time Jim Carrey got paid $20 million to do, and it was a huge flop. And it came out at the same time as Mission Impossible did, and everybody went to see that instead. And it was just, I remember going to cinema, and my friends wanted to see Mission Impossible. I wanted to see Cable Guy. So I'm going to go see Cable Guy. They came with me, and they hated it, and I loved it. But now you watch it now. I mean, it has grown on people over the years, and now people call it a good movie because it says a lot in its messaging. There's lots to say about the way that things are, like, how TV can affect people and how certain behaviors can escalate. And it's got a lot of satirical stuff to it. It's hard to explain, but it's just, it has got some very funny moments. It's a bit more edgier, as in, like, it's not like a hilarious comedy. It's just more darker and sort of now and then funny bits. I always thought that there's a scene in the bathroom of Owen Wilson. And I always thought that was so violent for Jim Carrey. It's a turning point where this character, you're meant to be laughing. You usually laugh at Jim Carrey up until that point, really. But at this point, you're like, fuck, man, that's you don't do that. That's going too far. That's no longer funny. And then you realise that you're not meant to laugh at this. This is actually, even though it is quite comical, I guess I'd probably watch it now and probably laugh at it. But it is quite like a turning point for the character because he's losing his friendship, and so he wants to try and make things right by getting rid of Owen Wilson's character who's dating his girlfriend, sort of thing. So it's quite a violent moment in the film, and I always thought, my God. And not all the jokes land, but it doesn't matter. but I just don't know what it is about this movie. I think it's awesome. I think it's so different, so funny, and so unusual and dark, and it's just so many bits in it. I mean, even my dad now will say $50. My dad loved it as well. He said it's just different. That's just the problem. It's different, and people at that time were just Jim Carrey, funny man. Jim Carrey, funny man. Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Batman. I think he did Ace 2, and then came along The Cable Guy, and it was just so different. The audience couldn't take to it. That's why he did Lie afterwards, to sort of like, I'm still funny.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Cable Guy for me was just fantastic. And it's aged really well, I think. But yeah, Cable Guy, my number 5. Yeah,
Cable Guy. Yeah. It's a little bit higher on mine, actually. I've always liked that film. Always liked it from the first time I saw it. I've always liked it. But yeah, I'll talk a bit more about it then. But
of course, yeah,
it's one from his career that sticks out like a sore thumb. But again, I've always liked it for similar reasons to yourself. But
great soundtrack as well.
Yeah,
like sort of like heavy music and heavy metal music, and Jim singing as well. Very good.
Yeah, that's a great scene in it for me.
And medieval times as well. Great.
Oh yeah, I love that as well. Love that. That is a great number 5, Jamie. My number 5. I think this was one of your honorable mentions. I think by the time this movie came out, I think this was one of his more raunchier movies.
I know what this is. There it is.
Yeah. Me, myself, and Irene. This is. I fell in love with this. I love this movie. My dad loves this movie. We watch this together, and whenever I watch it with him, he cries, with laughter when he sees this movie, with things that go on with this in this film. But
again, another film that couldn't get made now.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This goes there. I think this movie, it really, really does. It follows Jim Carrey, who plays a character called Charlie, who is the biggest doormat. He is he's the biggest pushover of a character ever. It starts off,
but yeah, he's walkover.
The definition of like nice guys finishing last, I think, in this film. Everyone takes advantage of him in this movie. Everyone, he has no backbone. He's just a people pleaser, but everyone takes the piss and just takes advantage of him in every which way they can. And he's gone through life at the start. His wife leaves him for the limo. That scene in itself is absolutely hysterical. His wife's pregnant with triplets, and she leaves him with the triplets that are not his for obvious reasons. And he raises these 3 lads. But as he's been this pushover for his whole life, he does develop schizophrenia, and another personality lives within him called Hank, who is the 180 opposite of Charlie in this movie, and he does not let anyone take the mick out of him at all. This guy is hard as fuck. He does not let anyone take the mick.
He's an evil bastard.
Yeah, borderline evil. Yeah,
he's not, but he's just like, he don't give 2 shits.
No, he just doesn't give a crap. I love the way at the start when we meet people in the movie and they're taking the advantage of Charlie, and then it goes back when he's Hank, and he just goes back to each one who's wronged him and gets a little bit of revenge against each of them.
It's kind of like falling down with laughs in a way. Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun, and you've got Renee Zellweger as Irene, who's kind of like the love interest of the movie.
They got great chemistry. Chemistry. They became a couple for a while. Yeah.
They just work together so well. The 3 sons in it are hysterical as well. They're just brilliant.
I just keep thinking of that chicken up the arse. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a great scene where they're all sat on the couch and they're watching a Richard Pryor comedy, and then it cuts to them later and they're all massive, and you can see Jim Carrey buried underneath them. Chris Rock. It's so funny, this movie. But like you said, It's very raunchy. Wouldn't be made today by far. Some of the jokes in it, anyway, I don't think would.
Oh, I just keep laughing at some of the jokes in it, and it lets you cheese on the taco, and oh god, I mean, where's my thumb? It's just these bits in it. Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. He does the whole switching between Charlie and Hank excellently as well. The first time at the shop when the woman says, "Do you mind if I just cut in front? I won't be long. I've only got a few things." And then the two kids have got two trolleys full, and he just switches.
Yeah. Gonna rock you.
Yeah.
It's amazing how his body changes when he's doing it. You see it's like a transformation. Like it's not like turning into a werewolf, but this is all just done facially and body language. He's sort of like this, and he sort of changes, and you just see him like, where the fuck am I? And he sees the woman, and Timothy, or whatever it's called. No, not Timothy.
Magiclean.
That's it, Magiclean.
He just absolutely embarrasses her in front of everyone, the whole shop.
Brilliant. And then he takes the shit on the dogs. Oh god.
Yeah, his dog's nicked his paper, and the dog's taking a shit on his lawn, so he just goes straight in to his wife, grabs the newspaper, and then takes a dump on his lawn. It's so good. It's so good, this movie. It's so funny as well.
And it also has a good emotional side to Charlie as well, where he realizes it's not like they're not taking the piss out of people with this condition, but they're using that condition to make something funny out of it. And it's well, we won't go into that because the film would probably upset people these days, sadly. But it's all done in the rightful way. There's no taking the piss out of people with conditions. It's just it's just a comedy about somebody who happens to have it. So
it's a Farley Brothers movie as well, so they obviously did Dumb and Dumber as well.
Yeah,
you can always count on a good soundtrack as well from the Farley Brothers, and this one has good music in it as well.
Ellis Paul, Ben Folds, Hootie and the Blowfish. I had the sound. I bought all the soundtracks to all Jim Carrey movies, all the posters. It's just as growing up, I had a scrapbook of all Jim Carrey clippings and. Oh,
excellent!
Yeah, they're all somewhere in Dad's loft, I think. But I still got them. Great memories.
Yeah. Well, this might be his most accessibly funny movie, I think, as well. I think you'd be hard pressed to find anyone who didn't find something to laugh at in this film. It's really there in your face with the humor. It's one of his funnier movies, and I just absolutely adore this movie. I can watch it anytime, and
you're always gonna laugh.
You're in for a laugh, even if you're having a bad day or something. Put me, myself, and Irene on, and it'll always cheer you up, and you'll get a laugh out of you. Well, really, really enjoy this one. Some great acting from him as well. Where there's a scene where Charlie and Hank have a fight, and he's just fighting himself.
Yeah, in the car. So what the hell are you still doing here? And when he's in the street and he's like, he kicks the shit out of him. He goes, "Don't mean I've got to carry your ass." And he ends up pretending to carry him.
Carry himself, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, well, he just does it so well. The playing the two different characters who could be more different from each other.
My mum loved it. I didn't think my mum would like it, but she loved it.
Yeah, it's just a brilliant comedy. Really, really do like this one. So that's my number 5. Me, myself, and Irene.
Wonderful. That should have made my top 10.
So you're number 4, Jamie.
Number 4, something different again. The Majestic.
Okay.
I have a lot of reasons why I love this film. It's mainly the story behind it. When it came out in the USA, it was a huge flop. Everybody's saying it's rubbish. And so it got a very limited release in the UK in cinemas. The nearest cinema that was showing it is about 50 miles away. Well, I don't know actually how many miles it is, but it's Southampton. And back then, it's quite a way to go for us to go see a movie anyway. But I was so desperate to see it, as it's about film, it's about cinema, it's about the McCarthyism, and basically about a guy who he's a screenwriter for movies, and he does the B movies and nothing special, but he still works in Hollywood as such. And then he gets blacklisted by the witch hunts, the communisms, and he ends up blacklisted, so out of a job. He goes for a drink, and he has an accident in his car. You shouldn't drink drive, people. And he has an accident in his car, and he ends up in washed up in a small town with amnesia, so he doesn't know who he is. And some old chap there, played by James Whitmore, who was in the Shawshank Redemption, which is also the same guy who was in the Shawshank Redemption. James Whitmore was the guy who does the books in that film, in the library. Anyway, so he takes him back to the town, and he's mistaken for a war hero that went missing in the war. And so they all think that he's Luke Trimble, and they think that he's this guy. But he obviously has got amnesia. He doesn't know. He's not this guy. But anyway, so they look after him, and they decide to reopen the local cinema, which is in the town, which has been closed since all the lads went off to fight in the war. And so he meets his dad, played by Martin Landau, and they decide to open the cinema. He has to rekindle a relationship with this girl. I forget her name. I think I can't remember her name. I've met her. She was in London, the Comic-Con. I got to meet her. But anyway, so the film is more of a light-hearted, serious film. It does have comedy in it. It has romance in it. It's quite slowly paced, but it's basically an old Frank Capra film. Do films like It's a Wonderful Life, Mr. Leeds Goes to Town, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Happen One Night, all those sort of films, which I grew up on. I grew up on those sort of films. My dad, he likes the old 40s black and white Jimmy Stewart movies, so I grew up watching those films. And so it was very much of that sort of caliber of film. It's no swearing, no sex, no violence, no fucking fun. But it's a really lovely little story. And I remember I wanted to see it so badly. My dad wanted to see it because he liked the sound of the story. And he drove me at the time. My dad's car was being repaired because it broke down. So he went out his way to get a hired car. And it was a little old banger that, you give the door a good shove, the whole thing will fall apart. But he got this old banger, and we drove up. I called the car whack because I thought it was going to blow up. It made so many noises. And he drove me to the cinema to go see this. And there was nobody in the cinema. This is in Southampton, Odeon, where it used to be. It's gone now. And we got in the cinema, nobody else in there, just me and him. And it was fantastic. I loved everything about it. My dad said that was possibly his favourite film, not just of Jim Carrey's, but of any film. It was right up his street, and it's like a special memory I have with my dad. So that might be why I'm influenced to put that higher on the list.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't lower the grade of the film for me. I think the film is just a lovely throwback drama. It's not offensive, and it has a very important message. It says something against America, and there's a part where he is saying about all these lads died for the America that is represented in this room. And it's like, and this America that is represented in this room is horrible, bitter, and cruel. And it's quite anti-American in a way. And it goes against which is probably why it didn't do too well, because they don't like that sort of thing. And so anything like that usually gets poo-pooed or swept under the rug. But it is for me, it's a wonderful story, gentle, funny, moving, interesting, with a good point, and it just brings me back to my childhood of watching all those old movies like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, where it's the little guy up against the government, and he takes them on, and he does this fantastic emotional speech. Yeah, it was just one of those films that impacted me quite a lot, and that's why I love it so much. It's not Jim Carrey's best film, and it's certainly not. There are, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, The Mask, and they're all probably better films, but it just has a special memory and a special meaning behind it more to me than his other movies. So yeah, The Majestic for me is just majestic. How cheesy.
It was probably a little bit similar to The Cable Guy, but it was just a different film for him to do. I think at the time. You mentioned Shawshank. It's the same director, I think, as well, Frank Darabont.
And Green Mile, yeah. Yeah,
But, yeah, I just think it may have been a little bit misunderstood or interpreted at the time it came out. But I do think it's a good film. I'm definitely overdue a rewatch of it because I haven't seen it in forever and a day. But yeah, obviously you've got that personal connection to it as well, and yeah, it is a good film, really good film. But it was an honorable mention for me, but great to have on your list, Jamie.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, my number 4. I think this was your number 5. So my number 4.
Cable Guys.
The Cable Guy. I love this movie. I absolutely love this movie. I can love this movie, and yet I can also completely understand why audiences really dislike this film. To be honest, this was Jim Carrey trying something different, and it just didn't work. It just didn't gel with audiences. It worked for the likes of me and you, but it delved into more of that thriller type of genre. It's not a full-on comedy. This movie, it's either going to work for you or it isn't. But this is, like you said, it's Jim Carrey is playing the cable guy. Matthew Broderick's sort of the main character of the film, who, you know, Jim Carrey tries to befriend him, and you know, he just says you can tell he's a lonely guy, but he just says like, oh, you know, let's hang out, let's be friends, and the sort of the friendship does kind of develop from there, but then things don't really go Jim Carrey's way as the movie progresses, and he wants them to go a certain way, and he just invades this guy's life, to get what he wants. There's a scene in the movie.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the movie where he turns his entire family against him in one scene.
Porno password.
See that? It's creepy, but there's moments I just find really funny.
Yeah, it's uncomfortably funny.
Yeah. He says, I think the password's something like foreskin, and he's like, I'm not saying that to my mother. And then his dad's like, she's a grown woman, she can handle it. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to play porno password with him. And then it just gets out of hand, but he's weirdly kind of blackmailing him at the same time.
It's very clever. It's very cleverly and performance.
Yeah. It really is. He's just a character. You don't know much about him, even watching him in the film.
You can almost feel sorry for him, don't you? At times.
Yeah.
You can see when you go into his backstory a little bit. You get little snippets here and there of him on his own, just sat there watching telly. His whole life he's been watching TV, and everything about his life is just TV and probably films. And so this guy has no life. He has no friends as such, and he's desperate for a friend. And it's to the point where it's too much, where it puts people off. And then he's desperate to try and make it better. And it's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. It's got some great scenes in it as well. Obviously, like you said, the bathroom scene with Owen Wilson. It's quite, like you said, it can be quite violent for the first time you watch it, but I can laugh at it now.
Once you know about it.
I just find it funny when he puts his mouth on the hairdryer and his cheeks just inflate. And it's ridiculous. You just wax him with that poof thing, and there's just powder everywhere. And
it's the whoa.
It's just a mad film, but the sort of the Camelot themed restaurant as well is that scene's a lot of fun, where he challenges him to this armored fight. He's just shit at every round that they do. And
there's so many references to like TV shows and stuff. Like, even like in that bit, he's talking about Star Trek, and they actually use the music from Star Trek. We have to fight Kirk and against Spock, and it's just a silly little thing, but it's just bonkers. It's just brilliant film.
It is. It's got there's a lot of famous people as well round about the time who popped up in this film in really small roles, like
Jack Black, Leslie Mann,
Janine Garofalo, Ben Stiller, even Bob Odenkirk plays Matthew Broderick's brother in the movie at the family. He's very
I've forgotten that.
Yeah, he's the blink and you miss it. Andy Dick as well as the head of the Camelot staff. Yeah.
Medieval times.
Yeah. There's a great subplot of this movie as well with Ben Stiller as the twins.
Oh yes, the My Three Sons thing.
The My Three Sons. So it was a sitcom starring two twins, and when the sitcom finished, they both went on their different paths. But mysteriously, one twin was murdered, and they think it was the other twin. And there's a big trial throughout the movie, whether or not he did it or not. And the way that ends is hilarious.
Yeah. He's a bit of a bastard too. Like what?
Yeah, it is. The whole nation's hooked trying to find out whether he was guilty or not. But it ends in a frustrating way, but so clever. Not needed, but just so clever to the movie, and it just adds that extra bit of flavour. I've got to talk about the scene as well with the karaoke. That is just, it's just so bizarre and so weird. Cringy as well at times, but he just invites all these preferred customers who are just a gang of weirdos, aren't they, really?
They're all a bunch of weirdos, but
to Stephen's house, and they just do karaoke, and Jim Carrey steals the show again.
I used to request that on MTV. Back in the day, MTV used to phone up to play music videos, and I was at a party, and I phoned up my mates. I think it came to like £20 worth of like phone calls, and they played the video like 10 times because I kept asking them to play it over and over. And my friends were like, "Can you pick another dance song?" But it was great. That was back in the day of MTV. Cool. But great choice that, I'll tell you.
It was just a misunderstood gem, I think.
Yeah, came out the wrong time.
At the time, yeah, but I absolutely love this film. I can put this. There was a point where I actually watched this twice in one day. I loved it that much. But yeah, it just works for me, this film, and I'm kind of glad it's finding more of an audience nowadays. I think, but it's still not there. It's
ahead of time, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But that was my number 4 for me. The Cable Guy, absolutely love it. So your number 3, Jamie.
My number 3. I got a prop for this.
Okay. Wow.
That's an improvement, isn't it?
Well, I've got to tell you as well, it's my number 3 as well.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, fantastic.
My number 3. So we've matched on one. Yeah.
Hey, that's the end of the show, people. Don't know.
My number 3 is The Mask as well, yeah.
I remember saw the trailer for this. Just looked right up my street. It was a comic book movie when comic book movies were rare, and it just looked amazing. I wanted to see it. Didn't know about Milo the dog. Didn't know about a lot of it. Cameron, and so basically the story is about a guy works at a bank, bit of a loner, bit of again, he's kind of similar to some of his other characters, I guess, in a way. Bit of a loner, not very confident. And especially not with ladies. Cameron Diaz walks into his bank one day looking absolutely
on the money.
Oh my God, that's the only time I've ever fancied her. But at that scene, her walking into the bank is like full on boner time. So she walks into his life, into the bank, but she's really working for her boyfriend, who's owns a club in the town she sings in. And anyway, so one thing leads to another. He has a lot of bad luck. His car gets buggered, and then one night he goes to the club. Can't get in, and so he drives and he sees a guy in the river. He tries to save him, but it's too late. But he has on him a mask, and this mask has magical powers. Loki, the King of Mischief, or the Lord of Mischief, whatever it is. He transforms. He puts the mask on, and it transforms him to the character of the mask as such. And it's basically him with a green face, yellow suit, and all the rest of it. Well, mainly yellow suit when he goes out in the town. And he's zany. He's balmy. He's kind of like Hank in a way, not in a narcissistic way though. But he just basically does all the things that were bad in his life, and tries to put it right, like go and get his car sorted. trying to get the girl that he fancies, Cameron Diaz. And it comes like this sort of like almost like a thriller as such, but it's more of a comedy, comic book hero, superhero type thing. But it's just, I mean, a lot of people know this film. We don't really need to explain it. It's one of those films which almost everybody's watched at some point. It's just a very well made film, very funny, very well paced. The comedy works. And you got Jim Carrey doing 2 roles. You got him playing sort of the straight guy, who can be quite comical, but he's a little silly to start when he's putting his pen in the pencil sharpener, but it soon settles into proper stuff. And the mask is so zany and so cartoon-like, and has some of the most quotable lines like smoking and what's the other one he says? It's party time, party, because I gotta. And it's
somebody
just,
stop me. Yeah.
Somebody stop me. Yeah, all these quotable lines from it. It's fantastic. It's just one of those films that came along, and I remember begging my mum and dad in the car, again with my friend Sean, we were in the car. I said I would die to see that film. And mum looked at my dad in the car, because mum and looking at each other going, we'll go see it this afternoon. I was like, get in. And there's T-shirts and God knows what in the cinema for sale. They had all this whole pile of stuff. And I'm glad I didn't look at the T-shirts so much, because we were a bit late going in. Most obviously we got them for the film, but it was even pricey then, but merch than that. But they actually had a picture of Milo with the mask on. I didn't realise that happened in the film. So when that happened in the film, it was a real surprise.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got some funny gags, great story, good action set pieces in there. There's not many action set pieces, but it's got some action bits in it, and it's just it's probably one of his very best films. I think whenever the day he goes, he passes, he'll be known for mainly Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask. They'll be the 3 things that he'll be most famous for, I think. Even though some of his other films may be better or done better performances, whatever, but those are the 3 which people always remember, and The Mask will be one of them. So
yeah, I think this and the other 2, these are the movies that put him on the map. I think catapulted him, I think, to that household name that he was. But yeah, this for me, agree again with everything you said about it. This was one of the first movies that I ever had on VHS. When I was a kid, I just remember putting it on and watching it over and over and over again, wearing it out. The movie, didn't just introduce Cameron Diaz in the film; it introduced Cameron Diaz to the world, I think. Well, with her first appearance in the movie, absolute knockout. Yeah,
she was likable as well. She was had a presence about her.
Yeah,
wasn't just attractive. That's what I'm trying to say. She could act as well.
Yeah, in this film, and it's kind of like, I suppose as well, a little bit like Me, Myself, and Irene. You've got the 2. He's playing 2 roles in the movie: Stanley Ipkiss and The Mask. Like you said, Stanley Ipkiss is not as much as a pushover from Charlie as Me, Myself, and Irene, but he can hold his own. But you can tell he's not happy with his situation. Yeah. And
frustrated again, isn't he?
Yeah, frustrated. Yeah, he finds this body, but like you said, it's too late. There's a mask there, and he ends up taking it home, putting it on, and it changes his life for better or for worse.
Yeah,
but that's where, when the mask is on, that's where the comedy really comes in.
Yeah, definitely.
To its own.
It's another one of those times my dad laughing his head off. It's the bit where he goes onto the road and there's a guy honking his horn at him.
Yeah.
And he goes, I think he wants to communicate. And he gets this tiny little, like a little bell thing, and he pressed it, and he goes, oh God, and the car explodes. And my dad said he had that happen so many times. He's wanted to do something back, and that was like the first. My dad I just laughed as soon as he put that mask on, and he was like going down, quiet, please. He's going, shh. It just made I couldn't stop laughing the second he's on screen as the mask. I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah,
just couldn't stop laughing. There was a gag when he's got the mask on every second almost. It was just so funny the way he looked, his body language, what he was saying. It's an all round. It's nothing wrong with it. There's, is it perfect? No, but it's it's just one of those films that there's nothing about it that I can complain about. The soundtrack's great, the pacing, it's just a great film. It's a good comic book movie. People forget comic book movie, well, graphic novel maybe, but it was a comic book first. So
yeah, it kind of had, again, some of those jokes that went over my head, I think, as a kid as well. Obviously, there's a scene where he's taking on a gang and he's doing like a balloon show, and he pulls out the condom.
Yeah.
He's like, sorry, wrong pocket.
Wrong pocket, yeah.
That went over my head as a kid. I had no idea. There's a scene in the park as well where he's pretending to be French with Cameron Diaz, and he says, I'll divide and conquer. And I was like,
yeah,
didn't catch that when I was a kid, but
the one I say quite a lot now is I should dip my croissant in your vitissoir.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Oh, it's funny. It's funny stuff. But you told me to freeze. No, it's good stuff.
He said, picture of Kellaway's wife, Margaret.
What?
Son of a bitch.
Well, I thought you'd be more understanding after all. You married her.
Yeah. Yeah, it just when he's the mask, it's just a million miles an hour.
It's Jim Carrey, isn't it?
It's Jim Carrey. You may question whether he needs the mask or not, but it's again showcasing his talents as this comedic actor, and he steals the show in both roles. I think there's a few actors as well now who have sadly passed away from the movie as well. There was one, we recently lost Peter Green, who plays the main villain.
That's right.
And I think the actor who played his friend in the movie, I think he committed suicide shortly after it came out.
Yeah, because he didn't do anything of him afterwards, because he was a good little supporting character.
Yeah. But I think he took his own life shortly after this came out. But
what a shame.
I know. I was gutted when I found that out, but yeah, it does have its funny moments. There's one moment that really makes me smile and chuckle when he first goes to the Coco Bongo as the mask, and there's that showroom where Cameron Diaz is coming down singing, and he just notices her for the first time. He just stops what he's doing and he's just alert. It just makes me chuckle. I don't know. And then he's got the big heart coming out his chest, and he turns into the dog. Yeah, it's really.
And his tongue comes down. Yeah.
It's just great. It's just great. It's energetic. It's a lot of fun. The bad guys in it are actually quite scary and intimidating, I think.
Yeah.
They look like really hard gangsters.
Yeah, it's like the bit when he's got the golf ball in his mouth, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
that's quite an intimidating scene.
It's quite intimidating.
It's like something out of Goodfellas.
Yeah. It's got a dark edge to it. It's got a dark edge. And it needed that. It needed to have that something serious to latch onto. And also play it for laughs, but if you played that for laughs, it wouldn't have been as impactful. So
yeah. But yeah, it's The Mask. I'm sure everyone watching will have seen this, and it's a Jim Carrey classic. Absolutely, for both of us. But yeah, that's our number 3, The Mask.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So your number 2, Jamie?
Liar Liar is my number 2.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I saw that 3 times at the cinema, I remember correctly. I think it was like pure Jim Carrey. It was like I think it's his funniest film for me overall. But he has done funnier films, I'm sure. But for me, Liar Liar was always like the main one. I didn't mind Bruce Almighty. I thought the first hour of Bruce Almighty was great. But it gets to the point after he's done the auto cue in that film, it goes serious and sort of like soppy. Whereas Liar Liar does have a little bit of that towards the end, but then it's balanced out again at the airport, because there's a lot of guys. He's basically we talked about it earlier. He's about a lawyer who's got a can't tell a lie for 24 hours, and it's just basically Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey, being funny and being crazy, and just basically saying how it is. And it's almost like John Cleese's Fawlty Towers type, where it's energetically and frustrated, but not frustrated in the same way, more like angrily frustrated, where he doesn't want to say what he has to, he doesn't have to say it, but he doesn't want to say what he's saying because he doesn't want to upset people's feelings, and he wants to get ahead in this game, in his job, etc. So you can see him trying his hardest to get round everything and failing miserably. There's just so many gags in it, so many things that work for me. And there's a part, like you said earlier, about he realizes that the people that he's trying to get a promotion to be partner with isn't for him. And he spends the whole film trying to get this partnership. And the second he gets it, he puts his hand away. And he's in some little moment. It's a tiny moment, but it brings out the actor in Jim. And he can just see in his eyes, like, this is wrong. And then he does his little speech, so this is wrong, blah, 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 blah. But it's just that little change. It's that little change. And it's just, I just think it's one of his funniest films. And it does go a little bit soppy towards the end. And then it gives you the outtakes. And it just rounds it back up. It just brings it back to being funny. And I think it's a really good rounded. If you look carefully, I don't know if you know this, you might do it because you know your stuff, but there's a scene at the end where it's all finished with, kind of, and he's in the stretcher.
Fire Marshal.
Fire Marshal Bill.
Bill, yeah. It's great, that, yeah.
Fantastic. And I didn't know that until a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I
watched it. I'm like, oh my God, there it is. It's just crazy. You wouldn't notice it unless you look for it.
Yeah, unless you look for it, yeah.
So, Liar Liar is, for me, the funniest film he's done, funniest film, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a feel-good film as well. It ends nicely. They did do a sequel, Evan Almighty. No, sorry, that's Bruce Almighty. I do apologise. No, they didn't do a sequel. No, it's just a one-off, and it doesn't need to have a sequel either. But it was a good film. I just think it's a really lovely little film, and I think it's his funniest film. It's just so many bits in it. You stuffed like a Thanksgiving turkey, and oh my God.
Yeah. There was a...
Oh my God, I don't know how he does it.
The whole pen is blue scene as well.
Oh yeah,
is great.
The goddamn pen is blue.
Yeah.
Garage sale down by mid. Oh my God, it's so many bits I can remember from it. It's just
even though he's not 100% there for his son, you can still tell he's a great dad when he's doing the claw with his son.
Yeah,
his son loves that.
Yeah, he does that. I really want to see Max today. He goes, how about that? I really do. And then, but he does tell. There's a slight flaw. He tells one lie, and that is when I didn't understand the question. Yes, he did understand it. It's when his secretary says, "You bought this from Tiffany's." He said, "No, I got it." He goes, "Oh no, come back! I didn't understand the question." You go, "No, he does understand the question because he answered it." So that's one lie that he tells that I've noticed anyway.
Yeah, I remember there was a few actors in it as well. I saw for the first time as well. Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah,
was
very nice.
Looked really good in that film. Oh God, the woman in the lift. Wow. I mean, how you got away with that scene? I don't know, because
No. But
But that's one of the most famous scenes, I think, from the movie. That obviously one of the more famous comedic scenes from the movie.
And the outtake for that moment as well.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it just both made me laugh with it.
Yeah, but she's a good sport to go along with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But no, completely get it. Being your number two, Jamie, it's a lot of fun. Liar, Liar, and it's one of his better comedies, I think, from the 90s. That was outside of 94, but yeah, it's a really good one. My number two is two movies, and I can't pick between the two.
Cheating.
I know. It is cheating, but it's difficult for me, this one. That's my cue. So my number two is both the Ace Ventura films. Right. So I actually saw the second one first, and my dad took me to the cinema to see it, and I loved everything about it. I loved the Africa setting in it. Jim Carrey was the height of his powers. Loved it. Loved the movie. Loved it. All the jokes worked for me. The humor worked for me. It was on point. I always have that memory of going to the cinema to see it with my dad. One of the earliest films I remember seeing with him. And then I remember I was in Woolworths one day, and there was a VHS for an Ace Ventura film, and I was like, "Oh, that must be the one I saw in Africa." So took it, but we bought it, took it home, and I was like, "I don't remember this," and it was actually Pet Detective. So that's how I sort of I ended up watching Pet Detective by accident, thinking it was when
Oh, I
nature.
see. Yeah.
So ended up watching that as well, and I loved that one as well. I just loved both of them. If I was to pick a favorite, I probably would go with the first one, Pet Detective. I don't think that is the better movie, but I just have that connection with Nature Calls.
They're both great. You know, you're gonna laugh watching both. So
yeah, I never watch one without the other either. I always watch them both together, just because I want that Ace Ventura fix. But yeah, I just love these movies again. Jokes in the first one, over my head as a kid. The whole opening with the rescuing the Shih Tzu, he brings it back to the owner, and I might have watched it with some older fellas, and they'd gone, "Whoa, look at her," you know. And then me being a kid, I was like, I don't know what's up with her. I didn't really.
Boing.
Yeah. And then she's like, "How can I ever repay you?" And he's like, "Well, there's been some damage to my car. It runs on premium. I've had to fill it with unleaded or whatever." And then she just sucks his face off. And then,
well, not just his face. Yeah.
Not just his face, but yeah. She goes downstairs, and then as a kid, I was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
It was straight over my head. Courtney Cox, absolutely stunning in this.
Oh yeah.
Her career was really taking off because she was in the first series of Friends at the time as well. Great plot as well. Well, I say great plot, very simple plot, but I just love it as well.
Yeah, you don't need a complicated plot.
No.
People forget films don't need to have a full-on meaningful plot. You just got to sometimes just want a bit of fun. And films like this, simple story you can follow, goes that doesn't outstay its welcome, and it doesn't. It goes.
Yeah.
Have you seen the deleted scenes?
No.
There's the German release. They've put all the deleted scenes into the film. It's just like a special edition. It's just come out. They've got 3 films box set. They've got 1, 2, and the junior one.
Yeah.
I never saw that. I didn't. I've seen clips and it was enough. But yeah, the German release have released all the cuts and in 4K. I think. But yeah, Ace Ventura is just it's comedy gold. I mean, it hasn't aged on some elements, but you can still laugh at it, and it's not meant to offend. It's meant to make you laugh, and that's the difference. So
yeah, that's it. Thin plot. The Miami Dolphins, their mascot Snowflake, gets stolen, and it's just him. He's brought in. He's been recommended to Courtney Cox. He's a pet detective. He'll try and find the dolphin, but the twists and turns in the movie, like you said, I don't think they'd hold up by today's standards. You couldn't get away with it today.
No,
but I still like the movie for what it is. I think it's funny. That kind of surgery can be done over the weekend. That line. It's just fun. It's just a fun movie. I love it. So many great scenes in it as well. It's just a delightful film. And the second one as well, it's more of the same, but in a different setting. I think it's a lot of, like you said, the Monopoly guy scene is great. That's so much fun. The rhino scene, absolutely iconic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. That
was a scene that got me. But again, similar to sort of Dumb and Dumber, I remember When Nature Calls, my VHS copy of that when I was younger, it had a lot cut out of it. It had the scene at the start where he rescues the raccoon. On the Blu-ray, that actually goes on for a lot longer.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, the VHS trimmed that down. And there's a scene where Greenwall walks in on him. That was cut as well.
Oh, really? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Crikey.
I think there was another scene as well where he's got his arm in someone's mouth and he pulls out the apple core.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I think he squashes the baby. The baby just comes firing out. That was cut from the VHS. Absolutely cut. Wasn't in there at all. But if you want the full uncut version, the Blu-ray's the way to go. But
oh yes,
yeah, there was just I remember watching it on Blu-ray, and I was like, I don't remember this. You know, there's so many scenes that were put back into it, but yeah, I love both movies. I think they're both great. They've both got fun villains. Sean Young in the first one, and Simon Callow in the second one. They're hamming it up. They're having a good time, and yeah, they're just two really fun 90s comedies with a little bit of raunch to them. They do go places, but they cheekily get away with it.
Yeah,
and I just do like them. My second favorite Jim Carrey film, The Two Ace Venturas.
fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. I'll forgive you for two.
It's only because I would never watch one without the other.
It's fine. It's fine.
I get it. Yeah. So that's my number 2, Ace Ventura.
Very good.
So that brings us to your gold spot, Jamie. Your number 1.
That's a bit personal.
Oh.
My number 1 is The Truman Show.
The Truman Show.
The Truman Show. It's in my top 5 films of all time.
Wow.
Again, it's got another story behind it, but basically, I heard the story was coming out, and this was before the TV show Big Brother was out, so it's way ahead of its time. But basically, the film was coming out, and my dad, he used to work, a financial advisor. He was going to Dubai to do a business trip thing, and on the plane, while he was away, I had got 2 tickets to go and see a early screening, like a preview screening thing, which was like 2 weeks before it comes out. I was really excited. I couldn't wait to tell him when he gets back. And the first thing I asked my dad when he came back, he pulls into the drive, and he opens the door. I go, "Dad, how you doing?" He's all right, yeah. What did you watch on the plane? And he said, The Truman Show. I was like, oh God. I said, what do you think of it? He said, it was shit. I said, what? Don't say that. What do you mean it was shit? Because it wasn't very good. I said, but Jamie, I will tell you this. I was very tired, and I think I might have missed some of it. Okay, fine. I'll forgive you. But I was so hyped for it, like I would be for any film.
Yeah.
So said to Dad, "Do you want to come see it?" I had 2 tickets. No, I'll take your brother. He'll go and see it. So I took my brother to go and see it, and I was blown away by it. I thought the story was so unique. The character was so likable. The acting was fantastic. He has his Jim Carrey moments, like when he takes the car for a spin, but he's also very emotional, and it made me tear up, especially towards the end when his because everything to him, he doesn't know. He suspects, but he doesn't know. And when he finally finds out what's going on, when he hits the wall, and you see him banging against the wall, he's crying his eyes out. And I just remember getting all emotional watching it, thinking, this poor guy, we've all felt trapped. We've all felt something isn't right. And when you spend your whole life sometimes thinking that something's not right, and when you find out that it isn't, and it's a relief as well. And that's why I kind of identified with it. So anyway, so I went and saw it with my brother, and my brother said, because that's how he is. I loved it. I thought it was absolute, just perfection of a film. The way it's directed, like you said earlier, the way it's directed, the score by I forget who does the score. It's not Peter Weir. He directed it, didn't he? Peter Weir. I think Peter Weir directed it. But the score is done by I forget his name. But anyway, it might be Peter Weir. I might be getting mixed up. But anyway, the score, it fits the film perfectly. It's beautiful. I can actually play one of the pieces of music on the piano. It's just such a wonderful film. And second time I saw it, we were in between moving, and we went to look at a house, and it came out nationwide that time. It was 2 weeks later, and I said to my dad, I told him how much I loved it. He goes, I'd like to give it another go, see it properly. So we went to see this house, and then me and Dad were going to go on to the cinema afterwards, and my mum so I just near the bathroom quickly. In this house you'd never been in before. She used the damn toilet. So it was a bit embarrassing, but okay. So and she got locked in the toilet. That's her soul. So, and I was more worried that we are going to miss the film. But we got Mum out. Mum got out, and it was all fine. But it was like just a memory I have. And me and went sort of saying, my dad said that was superb, and he said he fell asleep at a point where he goes back to work and acts like everything's all normal again. Oh, he's back to normal again. You know, wipes the mirror. That one's for free and all that stuff. And it's not until like you realise he fell asleep at that point that he goes to actually he's not stupid. He's not fooled. And it's just so brilliantly written. It's also satirical. You know, the very last shot. Oh, that was good. What else is on? Yeah, where's the TV guy? Yeah, where's the TV guy? It's like, yeah, that's exactly right. How it would be. A lot of people complain that the ending isn't good enough. That the should have been reunited with his girl. That he should have gone to see Christoph and punched him in the face. Say, how dare you? You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need a sequel. You don't need anything else. He gets that. Well, it's an old film. People, if they haven't seen it, watch it. But yeah, he gets the ending that he deserves. Let's just say it that way. You don't need no more. You don't need it. It's all about him coming to terms. You know, is that one of the lines that is we accept the reality in which it is presented, and it's exactly the point of the film. It's just, yeah, I could talk for hours about this. When about a month or two later, we were waiting for the bed to be delivered at the house that we decided to move into, and they didn't deliver the beds, and we had to be at the other place, so we had to stay overnight in a hotel. Stayed overnight in a hotel, and woke up one morning, and it was like a making of the Truman Show thing early in the morning. And me and my brother in the bedroom, and my mum and dad were in the other one. And my dad was banging on the door, Channel 3 now. Oh, okay. So put the telly on. And it was like this special 30-minute prior making of the Truman Show. Because it starts off with them being interviewed, or the people playing parts in the show. And they actually had like a full half hour of that. They trimmed it down to about a minute or two for the opening of Truman Show, the movie. But it's actually a 30 minutes intro to the movie. And it's never been released on DVD or video or Blu-ray. It was on YouTube at one point, but I wish they would re-release. I know they've released the 4K, but I want to get the 4K. Apparently, the 4K transfer is amazing, but they've really cleaned it up. But they didn't do nothing to the Blu-ray. Usually, they do a remaster of the Blu-ray, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So I think it's a standard Blu-ray in that set. But I wish they would do like a extended cut, because there's so much stuff they cut from the film. Even in the trailer, you can see stuff they've cut. But yeah, Jim Carrey, fantastic acting, fantastic film, amazing score, great direction. It's just, this film is perfect to me. It's just my favorite Jim Carrey film. Sorry, I could go on all for hours. Nope. So I'll let you have your turn.
That's brilliant. Yeah. No. Yeah, that is a great number one. I think that was a turning point for him, because again, it wasn't the Jim Carrey type of movie. You know, it was more of a serious role. And that was where you could start to notice that Jim Carrey kind of liked more of these more complex roles, I think, with what he does, because I think other than When Nature Calls, he doesn't like doing sequels or anything like that. He'd never really liked to repeat himself. Just wanted to move from one project to the next thing and be the best that he could. But this one was a real eye-opener of what he was capable of.
Again, snubbed for an Oscar.
Yeah, snubbed. Absolutely. Spot on in this one. The movie as well, for its premise of, you know, this orphan who was owned by a TV company, and they made a show around him, a 24-hour show that was on all the time, following him through his entire life. You would probably get some questions in your head about, well, what would they do if this scenario happened? What would they do if this scenario happened? And the movie does answer that in a lot of ways, because there's one scenario where you think, what if he would want to go on holiday? And it has this backstory to him where he was out to sea with his dad, and his dad died, and that scared him from traveling. And there's a lot of subliminal messages as well throughout the movie, like plane crashes and statistics about, you know, going on holiday isn't bad, stay at home and all this. So it's put him off for years about going on holiday or traveling places, or miraculously, whenever he goes to whenever he goes to the bridge to get out of the town, there's always like a bad storm on, and he's always told to turn around. So it does answer a lot of those questions as well, which sort of keep him isolated in this little town. But like we said before, the cracks start to break. One of the ceiling lights falls down, and he's looking at it like, where did this come from? There's a scene where he sees backstage, and there's like extras there, people he met that morning, and that gets hushed.
Yeah.
Pushed the carpet. It deals with a lot of that very, very well. Those types of questions where, what if he wanted to get away, or what if things go wrong? And he just covers them really well, I think. Yeah.
For me, the scene that stands with me the most is when he's going to work and he thinks he sees his dad as a homeless chap. The acting, it's all in his eyes, and it's just like, it gives me chills thinking about it. It's just like, his dad's meant to be dead, and there he is. And it's so really moving. It's all in his performance, his body language, everything does not give a crap. He throws he knocks all his paperwork out, doesn't care. He runs after him, but he gets taken away. And that's what spirals him to flip, to realise that something is wrong. And it's just, but at that moment, it's just, even when he walks into work, and it's got a shot of him going around like the
revolver
door, yeah. And it's just above his head, and you just see him thinking. He doesn't have to say anything, doesn't look up, he doesn't go. You see it in his face, and you think, no, I'm not doing this. He needs a day off, basically. But it's it's just really, really hits me. I don't know why. It's one of those films that just really hits me. It's just something about it, the way it's human. It's very human, and how he reacts. Yeah, it can be a bit OTT. It's Jim Carrey with the likes of the driving scene, but it's all the other things. I guess you would go a little bonkers, wouldn't you, if you found out that your reality is fake. And again, ahead of its time, because we didn't have things like, there's all this I'm a Celebrity and Big Brother and all that. We didn't have things like that on television at the time when it came out.
It's pre-internet as well. It's sort of like pre-internet as well. It's just before the internet was a thing. Deals with that, but I'm with you as well on the ending. I think it ends perfectly. To be honest, I think it has that mysteriousness about it, but then it has that realism, like you say at the end, where the show's over and then it's like, oh, well, that was great. What else is on? That's how it would work. That's how it would be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because as consumers, you just want the next thing, and they just go, "Where's the TV guy? What else is on?" I can't fault you for having it as your number one.
Thank you, Damon.
Great pick.
I think I know what yours is going to be.
Yeah. Oh God, this film is just probably one of the most important films to me. I think as comedies go, this is top tier. Jim Carrey for me, and it is Dumb and Dumber. Believe it or not, when I first found out about this movie, I was in Blockbusters and there was a copy of it on the shelf, and my mum said, "Do you want to rent this?" And I just took one look at it and I just went, "Not really, no." And that was it. And I never went back to it for a while. And then it was on TV, and that's when I saw clips of it. And I was like, I want to watch that. That looks right up my street, that. So it was on TV. I was all geared up to watch it. And then my mum and dad said, we're going out for a meal. So we'll tape it for you and we'll watch it when we get back. But it was one of those where we'd been out for the meal, come back, but it was still on, so I couldn't watch it. It was still recording. So I had to wait for it to finish. Now, I think the next day I watched it, and my word, I can't tell you the countless times I've rewatched that tape. It was just one of the funniest movies I think I'd ever seen in my life at that time. It just showcased everything about Jim Carrey and why I loved him in this movie. Jeff Daniels as well, not a comedic actor, but my word, he holds his own to Carrey in this film. They play off each other so well in this movie. They're as funny as each other in this film.
They support each other very well. Sometimes if you've got the zany one, you've got to have that sort of normal one to bounce off it. It makes it so much more funnier.
Yeah.
But he does have his moments. Jeff Daniels, he has his moments.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, like you say, they're just two dumb guys doing these dumb jobs, and they end up. Lloyd ends up taking this woman to the airport. She leaves her briefcase. She's going to Aspen. He just falls in love with her at love at first sight, and the whole "goodbye, my love" and the airbag goes off. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Like, doesn't need to be in there, but my God, it just works so well.
Yeah.
I'm very much like you. I could just play the movie in my head right now.
Yeah, word for word.
Word for word, scene for scene.
Even the title's funny.
Yeah.
Even the title goes, ouch.
Yeah. It's just great. The whole scenes in it are absolutely amazing. Everything about it just cracks me up. Don't go in there. It's okay. I'm a limo driver.
Yeah.
I rewound that so much when I was a kid because I couldn't stop laughing at that scene when he falls off the passageway onto the plane.
I always say, if there's a crowd of people in Bournemouth where I'm walking through, I go, move it or lose it, sister. I can't help
it. Where they find out what's in the briefcase and they just do what they do with the sort of a spending spree. That scene's great. The pretty woman sequence with Dunlop and the tuxedos are absolutely iconic. The orange and blue.
That's right.
Tuxedos are just great. Some of the best costumes, I think, in movie history. I think those tuxedos, absolutely wonderful. I think the villain in this as well, similar to The Mask, he was an actor who I think he took his own life as well.
Oh, no.
The guy who played Mr. Andre, I think his name was in the.
Yeah.
He was in Hocus Pocus and Dances with Wolves as well, I think, which was a real shame. Yeah, I could talk forever and a day about this film. Every joke for me lands, it hits. Mike Starr is the sort of second-hand villain in the movie who has to go. He plans on poisoning them, and that backfires. That's great.
Those are good.
They put the chilies on his burger.
Yeah.
They're just oh no, we some lady left it at the airport. We're just bringing it back to her. How's your burger? And it's just trying to get him to eat this burger.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. When they eat, it's not that hot. They get the tomatoes.
The ketchup and mustard.
Oh my God. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking like, what? Okay. It's so stupid but funny.
It's great. Even this scene, this scene cracks me up. It's quite a dark moment in the movie, but it's really funny. Where the woman they've been lusting after the entire film, the ending happens, and she says, "Would you like to meet the nicest guy in the world?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "He's got a gun."
Yeah.
Yeah. That scene is great. That is just a lot of fun.
He sells a dead bird to a blind kid.
Oh God.
Pretty bird.
Yeah.
And then later on the TV, I just thought he was quiet. It's really not. It's really bad.
You shouldn't laugh at it, or you feel bad for laughing at it, but you can't help yourself.
Who are these sickos? And it's them too. Oh.
I love the scene as well where Harry kind of goes on the date with her when they go skiing, and she just playfully chucks a snowball at him, and he gives her the coldest look.
Yeah.
Of, like, I'm going to get you back for
that. Yeah.
He picks up this big block of ice. Yeah. And as well, the scene, it was so funny but so frustrating was the ending. But it's frustrating for all the right reasons.
Oh, yeah.
The last shot of the movie. This bus full of women in bikinis turn up. I was like, when are we going to get a break? And they turn up and we're looking for two boys who can oil us up before each bikini competition. It's like, you are in luck. There's a town down there. You'll find a couple of guys there. Yeah.
Even
that has a payoff as well with I won't say what happens next, but the payoff for that. This is just, I think, like you, I've just seen it so many times. You know, you just know it over and over and over. You can play it in your head again and again and again, and it's never not funny. You know,
no, it's still funny now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm laughing listening to you say scenes and that, and it's just like it just brings you back to when first time I ever watched it. It's probably the most I've ever laughed at Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Lie Lie is probably his most all rounder, but Dumb and Dumber is the one which is the most funniest, I think. As in first time watch. I know it's still funny, but it's just that first time I ever watched it. You know, you nearly pee in your pants. I saw it at cinema, and I came out laughing. And very rarely do I come out of cinema laughing. So yeah, it was just great. Yeah, it's a fantastic choice for number one. I mean, it should have been higher up on my list, but it's we're all different. We all got different.
Yeah, the only thing I ask when people come on this series is be honest about your lists. You know,
Exactly.
It doesn't matter where the movies fall. Do you and be honest about your lists. That's all you can do, and that's all I ask. Just be honest about your list. Doesn't matter if you go, this should be at number one. It's about your personal taste at the end of the day. So that's it.
Great choice.
Yeah, but my number one, Dumb and Dumber. Your number one, Truman Show. Yeah, so
yeah,
some great picks. A lot of fun discussing Jim Carrey there, Jamie. So yeah, just want to thank you for coming on.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. It's been great fun. Really enjoyed it. It's been what, 2 hours I think, and it's just flown by.
Yeah, really good. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, but that brings us to the end of the video, everyone. Just want to thank Jamie for joining me for this one, picking Jim Carrey. We had an absolute blast going over our top 10 films, and yeah,
Sorry.
great way. But yeah, just thank Jamie again. Like I said at the beginning, his link for his channel will be in the description below, so please go over and check him out if you haven't done so already. And yeah, big thank you to Jamie. Thanks for everyone to watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.